definitely my biggest battle right now.
Yeah.
Where I feel the biggest contradiction taking place with religion is whereby with religion you must believe it in faith, and to be with faith is almost to believe without reason, if that makes sense. To believe in something with no logic behind it. To believe that Jesus exists without seeing Jesus, for example, right? Alright, cool. Yo guys, it's your boy Bonks. Welcome back to another Speakyoursauce video. Little bit something different. I got my bro Ashley over here, live and direct. If you don't know a little bit about him, obviously jumped on the Nella Rose Love Lessons. He's got his own channel as well, so Shay's gonna plug it here. So yeah, welcome to the pod, my bro.
Glad to be here, bro. Appreciate you.
Lovely. I guess first and foremost, like, how you feeling? What's up?
No, I'm feeling good still. I'm just happy to be here, man. Happy to be involved, happy to be a part of you lot's thing. You get me? Trying to just connect, plant seeds.
Appreciate it, man. Good. So I guess obviously, as we like to do, just give context and summary of what we're going to talk about today. Today's going to be a little bit of a light one, just a chilled one. We're just going to have a little conversation. So obviously Ash is really much into, I guess, life concepts and just understanding and his worldview. So we're just going to see, the way he views the world, I guess, his motivations, just getting insight into his mind, and then just, look into the way he views life and I guess maybe relationships, and might dive into bits and bops a little bit there. So I guess if you could just, in summary, just let us know, like, I guess, what would you describe as like your 3 guiding principles in life? Like, we're jumping straight into it.
Straight in the deep end.
Yeah, straight into it, my brother.
That's a really good question, got me thinking.
So when I'm saying like guiding principles on like,
elaborate.
What makes you, like, when you're making decisions, what is the core factor
of how I make them?
There you go. Yeah, what drives it? You get me?
So morals.
Cool.
Obviously I'm a people's person. I'm a loving person. So that sort of, I would say definitely morals. That sort of thing. Like, obviously you don't want to make any choices that
immoral, incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you want, when you're making decisions, you want to be just a good person for others.
Obviously that's the ideal thought process. Obviously depends on situation,
context, and everything there.
Yeah, that always plays a part. But ideally, obviously, you try to be a good person. I'm a good person at heart. Do you know what I mean? So cool. Don't want to make no mad. How would you say it? Immoral decisions. Obviously hurt other people. Cool. So that's kind of the first one, and then other 2, if you will. That's a really good question. I'm big on religion.
Cool.
Like, I'd say the past year and a bit, I've been learning a lot about Islam. So I would say, obviously, again, depending on what it is, I would base my decision, if it's a big one, obviously, like, God would come into it at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
If it's actually the right thing
within
to do.
Faith and calm. Okay. That's
I would definitely say that.
That's a very interesting one. Obviously, before we kind of jump into your third one, I'm kind of curious to kind of hear a little bit more about kind of, your take on Islam and like kind of what made you want to get interested. What was the decision making within that?
So for me, I grew up in a Christian household.
Cool.
Like, my parents were Christian, like grandparents, everyone around me. And it was kind of like forced on me, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's normally the case for a lot of people.
Yep. Like, look, we believe in God, Jesus, go to church.
Yeah.
Not
even just with Christianity, but just in terms of like whatever faith your parents are
in.
Normally, when you're born, you're forced onto that. Do you know what I mean? So, that happened to me. So I was kind of on the Christianity path growing up. And then obviously, you grow up, you get wiser, life shows you things, and just you learn things, innit? I learned a lot about Christianity and about Islam. Obviously, I've been learning a lot about it in depth in the past year and a bit. But what made me make that change is just based off the pure fact that it just made more sense to me. I'm a person where I go off logic.
Cool.
Like, that was gonna be my third thing.
Fuck it up. Okay.
Logic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I made my most of my choices based off what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Within your understanding.
Yeah, within my understanding, obviously my mind capacity. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, that's all you can go off.
Of course.
Yeah, literally, it made the most sense to me. I literally just keep it plain and sweet like that. It literally made the most sense to me. And compared both religions, just out of the two, it made the most sense to me. It seems like the realer religion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's
based off my information. I don't want to dive too much into it because obviously it's a very sensitive topic. I don't want to offend some people.
Of course,
do you know what I mean? But just based off what my research and what I learned.
I got you. And I think, if, kind of the way we want to move forward, and everybody's very much aware of, we all have our own opinions. And the reason why this is, I guess we love this platform is we're very much in a place, even our viewers, the spillers are very much comfortable with you having an opinion that might offend others, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
I hear that.
obviously, as long as typical, just don't be a prick, don't be a waste. You get me? But as long as it's like, I think what's more important is you might have an opinion that's very controversial, but as long as you can break down
why,
you get me,
bro,
how you got to that.
I can always do that,
Mr. Logic.
Always, bro.
So I guess if I'm bouncing off what you're saying, right? So for me, one of my big, not issues with religion, it's definitely my biggest battle right now. Where I feel the biggest contradiction taking place with religion is whereby with religion, you must believe it in faith, and to be with faith is almost to believe without reason, if that makes sense. To believe in something with no logic behind it. To believe that Jesus exists without seeing Jesus, for example, right? But then we are built on logic. We are very much, but we need the reason why. We need to get to the root cause X, Y, and Z, right? So for yourself, being a logical person, how do you balance that, trying to be a logical person, having a root cause, but then understanding that religion has no logic and it must be through faith? How does that work for yourself?
That's a really good question. That is a really,
you see what I'm saying?
Good question. I would say, okay, let me start off by saying this. There's loads of religions out there, and I feel like there's some that have been put in there, obviously, because, Uncle Sam or them, they understood how people work, and people, like majority of people, need to feel like they're following something.
Need to have a belief system.
A belief system, being told what to do. So with that being said, I can understand why you say it has no logic and it's based off faith, but I don't know. That's a hard question. I would say. Yeah, you see, it's a very hard question.
You see what I mean?
Do you want to know why? Yeah, because let me talk into the mic. Because I am a logical person, but obviously this basically contradicts the logic. And that's why it's very hard for me to answer this question right now.
You see what I'm saying? And because I agree with you. Like, you see how you're feeling right now, like even for you guys on this state of, on like some people on one hand are like, but not necessarily being an atheist, but I'm not.
That's what I was going to ask you. Oh, wait, sorry to cut you there.
No problem.
What's your beliefs?
So for me, to tie it all together, me very much right now is I'm just more on spirituality, right?
I hear that.
So I'm very much, because like there's bits of Buddhism that I fuck with. There's bits of Islam that I fuck with. There's a bit of Christianity that I fuck with, right? Because I all fuck with it, but then there's bits of philosophy that I fuck with. And then somehow when I'm reading all across them, they all make sense. And obviously this is not me saying I'm right.
This is not me saying what you believe.
You get me?
I understand that, bro.
There's a lot of people that I do follow, like for example, somebody like Jordan Peterson, who's a very much, it's a psychotherapist, psychoanalyst, analyst, if you will. But then he's very big on religion as well.
Okay.
But I feel like right now on my mental understanding is I'm just dotted around in bits of everything, but with the guiding principle on just trying to be a good person, trying to learn and trying to grow.
If that's the main sense. See, I understand that completely, because I know a lot of people that are like you, that have the same sort of belief, what's the word?
Like system.
Belief system. Yeah, that's a good word. Like they kind of just fuck with certain bits of certain religions. Do you know what I mean? They take bits that they can rock with. Do you know what I mean? So I get that still. That's a bit of a tricky one though, because it's just like, where do you stop?
I agree.
Like, where do you stop at? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, are you constantly
trying
to tap into new things, or are you trying to develop more on what you've tapped in on already? Do you understand what I mean?
I hear it, and I think that's what brings me here to. So there's two caveats of that. So in one end, it's I'm trying to convince myself to go back to Christianity.
Okay.
Because out of everything, it's just Christianity. It's because what I know and it seems like it's the right thing to do. Even if I was wrong, then what did I lose? You know, I believe in God. You know, chances as long as I'm a good person, I won't go hell type. You get me?
That's what I've always believed. Sorry to cut you.
Of course.
It always comes down to you as a person. There's a story in the Quran about a prostitute. And obviously she was a non-believer, so she wasn't a believer of Islam, and obviously she was a prostitute. And there was a cat, and she said she used to feed the cat, and I think she went without food. Don't quote me correctly on that bit, but I think she gave her food to the cat or something along those lines.
Okay, cool.
And when she passed, she went to heaven, or she went to Jannah.
Cool.
Based off of her just being a good person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the fact that she wasn't eating, giving her food to the cat, even though she wasn't
one of Allah's creatures.
Cool.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it always comes down. I believe, obviously, because there's so many people that don't believe in any religion at all, but they are good people.
Yeah.
They are good people with good hearts. Do you know what I mean? So I believe that those people will go.
You see what I mean? And it's very, very difficult as well, because how I felt growing up, right, was very much Christianity was thrown in my face.
Same.
And it was like, you must believe in God.
Same.
You must believe in Jesus.
Same.
And when I tried to think that, no. Just do. And for me, it's what I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Why am I not allowed to think?
Yeah.
It's not that I'm saying it's wrong, but why can't I just think for myself and let me get to that for myself? Because now people are saying, yes, but for you to, get to heaven, you must love Jesus and you must have a relationship. How am I meant to have a relationship with somebody when you're telling me I must love them?
Yeah.
You get me? So it's like, that's like making me marry a woman, but not letting me get to know her. You're just saying, let's get married, right? You get me?
You're actually so right. I never even looked at it like that from that perspective. You're so right. Well, that deeply anyway. You're 100% right.
So that's the only thing that was just bugging me, dotted around. So for me right now, I'm just trying to figure out, trying to have some direction, right? And then we just know as humans, our cool thing, like you mentioned, is like we just want to have something we can believe in, right? We at the very end of the day, and generally, if you don't believe in, like, let's say religion, you usually believe in like purpose or like business direction
or spiritual or some form. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that are like that too. They believe in like auras and chakras, and they have stones and all that. You know what I mean? There's so many different avenues. You're right.
And it's starting to like recollect to me. This is why I believe like a lot of these, let's say, not influencers, if you will, but these entrepreneurs, the people that have gone clear, right? They talk about how to them, they believe that having purpose, number one, is very important. Because as a man, you need to have direction. But then also spirituality. But I feel like when they speak of spirituality, for me, my understanding is just to know yourself. Yeah,
that's always, but I believe in anything that you do in your life, you have to know yourself.
Talk to us.
Like, literally, like, even if you're trying to meet someone, you can't love someone if you don't love yourself, and that starts with knowing yourself. Do you know what I mean? It comes with all avenues of life. You have to apply it. Like, you have to know yourself.
Okay.
So I believe that every person needs to like take that time out from their life to tap into themselves. Do you know what I mean? It happens to some people by force. Certain situations happen to them and they're forced into something to make them do that. Or some people actually just, you know what I mean? They take the time to like know themselves. You know what I mean? Because
now I hear
insecure people out there.
So that's a really kind of nice segue. So we definitely, so for example, with us, what we do is we're on TikTok Live quite often. So we get a lot of people jump on and just asking, I don't feel good about myself, X, Y, and Z. What do I do? All of this stuff. So I guess the first thing is from your opinion, from your experience, what does it look like of either being insecure or not knowing yourself? How would you be able to describe that or recognize it? Or
that's a really good question.
How would you, somebody watching right now, they're thinking, I'm not too sure if I know myself or not. Like where do they start? Like, where do they begin?
I would say going off my experience as a person, I've always felt like I've kind of known myself. I've known what sort of person I actually really am. I've never been insecure. Well, I feel like I've never really been insecure about anything, really. Obviously, we're all humans, so we all have minor insecurities, but I never felt like growing up, even now, me being 24, I've never had any major insecurities that's impacted my life, because I felt like I've just always been comfortable in my own skin.
Okay.
I'm a very free-spirited person. And, you know, ask anyone that knows me for real, in real life, knows that I know people say this is so cliche, but I actually do not give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. Like, I do what I want when I want. And I have always been like that since a kid. So I kind of feel like that stems from, me knowing myself and knowing, okay, cool, let me put it like this. I'm the sort of person where it's like, I could be in a room with 50 men and they could be saying, oh yeah, we think A. And I'll say, I could be the only one person that thinks B. And I'll still say B. I don't care if every single one of them is saying A. I'll still say B. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of, like, I've always been a person that stands on my shit. Do you know what I mean? Very comfortable in my own skin, not easily strayed, not easily influenced. So all of that comes from like knowing yourself. Like, I know my thing.
Okay, but that's you. So
based off, sorry, I'm going off topic, answering your question now. So based off my experience, I would say it came natural to me. That's where I was going with that. Okay. I would say it came natural to me.
Yeah.
Me being like this, which is quite rare, I would say, because growing up, I've realized that a lot of people don't know themselves and they're very subconsciously insecure.
Calm. So you went about your day, you were just existing. But then when you were communicating with people, you start to realize, wait, you guys don't experience this thing where
do you get it? That's like, how I feel with a lot of things. And that kind of comes from me being like, I am a very intelligent guy. So it's like, things that are like normal to me, as I've grown up,
you've recognized
I've realized that it's not normal to other people.
Okay.
Do you get it?
So then how do you then begin that journey of bridging that gap of basically somebody feels, you know, lack of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, insecurity.
Very good things. What you just said there, those three things there are so important.
You see what I mean?
What you just said there, those are the three things that you need to start to know yourself. If you don't have those skills, what you just said, what did you say? Emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and what?
And the insecurity.
Have an understanding of insecurities. That's what you need, those three things, to even start.
Okay, so you're saying...
And that's what I feel like a lot of people don't have, especially men, emotional intelligence. I actually speak on that a lot. That's why I'm glad you actually said that still.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys do not have that. And that stems from being insecure.
So then I guess let's define it, you know, for those that don't know, like what would be your definition of self-awareness first and foremost? I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but we like to...
tap into it.
You know what I mean?
So I would say having the ability to look in on yourself, to look at yourself in third person. Cool. That's a very good thing.
I like that.
And a lot of people don't have that skill. I can do that. Cool. And, you know, it's something that's easier said than done. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's definitely one thing. And
so there we go. So that's the first premise, self-awareness. And then we got the emotional intelligence pillar, if you will. What's that definition?
Understanding so even to have emotional intelligence, that stems from understanding your own emotions. Well, I feel like that's how I learned it, understanding my own, and then obviously being able to judge and understand other people's. Cool. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, that's all comes under the same category, emotional intelligence.
Okay.
But I would feel, I would say a lot of men don't have emotional intelligence, and it's a thing where it's very underlooked. Like it's like one of those things, you'll be surprised how uncommon common sense is. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those same things. Like it's something that for me, because I've got it, it's expected.
Yeah, you think it's a norm.
It's a norm, but it's not. So it's like, I feel like to be able to understand emotional intelligence, you just need to generally just be like a people's person. Like, I'm very empathetic, compassionate person naturally. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, as a kid, I've always been like that. So I kind of feel like that's kind of what's, and then as I got older, obviously the emotional side was just there naturally growing up. So obviously as I got older, the intelligent side came
just with it.
So obviously that's how I felt like I've always had emotional intelligence. Yeah.
Okay. So it's been with you, I guess.
Yeah, naturally.
And it's surprising that not many men have it, right?
Yeah, it is.
So then for yourself, because of...
That's why, hold on, sorry to cut you. I just want to say this. That's why when wait, do you want to know what made me realize this? Speaking to girls. That's what made me realize how emotionally intelligent I really was.
Yeah, talk to us. Break that down.
Because, not even trying to sound like I'm out here trying to bear girls, because I'm actually not. Obviously, just let me set the record straight. You know what people are like.
Context,
you get me?
and that.
Come on. You know, people take one thing, they run with it. But yeah, speaking to females just over the years, over my lifetime, made me realize how emotionally intelligent I was, because again, there's certain conversations that you just don't have with the man them. You get it? You just don't have. So it's like, when I started to speak to different females and stuff over the years, and they got to know me as a person, it's like, they was like, raw, like, you're different. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that sounds so cliche, but real shit, like, this has happened to me, because they see that by the way how I'm speaking, like I said, empathetic, compassionate, those two key things, like, and again, they're so cliche and they're so like expected of people, but you'll be surprised how people don't know how to apply these things. You know what I mean? Cool. Obviously, people know how to apply it like naturally to a family member or something. Someone passes.
But then out there.
But when it comes to actually trying to apply it, understanding when to and when not to, obviously emotional intelligence, that all comes from under it.
The definition.
Do you get it?
Cool. So you set the scene for us, right? You set the scene, you've explained it, you've described it, you've shown cases and the benefits, right? Which is great. But then now it's like, okay, I am a dude, 19 right now, watching this on TikTok, but I don't have emotional intelligence. I don't have self-awareness. What am I doing, my brother? Help me. See, for me, it would be a bit hard for me to tell you how you could develop these skills if you don't have them now, because I've had them just naturally. Do you know what I mean? Like, got you. This shit was just came to me. Just there. Like, I know it sounds like I'm being big-headed or not, but it's just real shit. Ask anyone that knows me, they'll tell you this, bro. So it's like basically you were born into wealth, so you don't know how to teach how to get rich. I can, but this is a very specific bit. Okay. So on this very specific bit, it's kind of hard. It's just like, it's like, okay, let me put it in this context. There's certain ballers. There's like Messi and the Ronaldos, or maybe that's a bit too high. Maybe like the De Bruynes or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Cool. Certain things that they do, you just can't coach. You could get someone. It's just natural. Some people just have that natural. In this context, I feel like me having these life skills, it's amazing. It's actually just natural. I love what you said, because I was listening to this podcast with Navar Radford. He's like a philanthropist, angel investor, right? So he was basically talking about how sometimes when people are in flow state, when people are successful, it's so hard for them to describe how they got that success. So for example, Rafael Nadal, the fact that he's a world-class tennis player, he can't teach you how he became a world-class. You can watch him, you can try to emulate, but you wouldn't be able to get the exact context of how he done it. Why? Because the things that he cannot teach are the exact reasons why he's a world champion. Literally. So the reasons why you say you have, not that you say, but the reasons why you have emotional intelligence is the very reason why you cannot teach it, because it is specific to you. Right? So I guess the takeaway from this for yourselves in relation to emotional intelligence and self-awareness is try and recognize. It's try to get an understanding. That's where it all stems from. What self-awareness is. Try to understand what emotional intelligence is and compare what that is to where you are and figure out how to bridge the gap. How you get to that is how you get to the intelligence. That simple, right? So for us to give you the answer, will therefore neglect or negate the ability for you to gain the intelligence, because the journey from 0 to 100 is how you get to the 100.
Literally.
Type shit.
Literally. I felt, that was a very good explanation. That is literally the blueprint.
Yeah.
That is the blueprint.
It's crazy.
You just said it. Yeah,
It's
literally.
crazy, right?
That's literally the blueprint right there.
Yeah,
So,
and it's mad. And I think for me, the reason why I'm conceptualizing it is because I'm going through the same thing, but in something different. So for me, my biggest battle right now is more about like making money in a sense of like getting rich quick versus that long-term grind and hustle, you know what I mean? So I used to speak about this a lot around like October, November time, where I used to watch podcasters all the time on like these rich people on, this is the secret to success, 10 steps on why I became famous, blah, blah, 10, blah, blah,
that's just clickbait.
It's crazy, bro.
Out of 10 of those, is like 2 of them are going to be genuine.
You get me? And that was my issue. But then I just started to recognize I was spending so much time trying to find the right information on how to make it that I wasn't actually
focusing on making it. Yeah.
Get me?
Yeah.
So now it's like my key driver and focus now is just working internally. And with this, it's more about then kind of spitting out the outputs for other people to latch on to help them get to their own realization, if that makes sense. Because it was through me watching all of that, jumping on the podcast, realizing actually enough is enough, was what allowed me to get to where I am today, if that makes sense. And then I think that's what we can showcase to the other people. Whereas for yourself, you've just been blessed in it.
Yeah.
You've just been blessed
it's
in
certain
it.
aspects that, like, again, not even to sound big-headed, but it's like, it's just facts. It's like certain aspects, it's either you got it or you don't. And I feel like that's in this context, that's just that case.
It just is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, it's very, 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 it's not impossible, but it would be very hard like try and develop these skills now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I've got a question for you then. Just before we wrap it up, I'm just curious to know, what is the biggest thing that you've worked on or are still working on for yourself then?
In my life?
Yeah.
Probably my YouTube channel, that like in terms of worked on and currently working on.
I mean more, obviously that's I meant more like you as
internally.
as like an individual. You get me?
Different lane, okay.
Yeah, you get me.
I would say that I've worked on to become more, even though I am naturally a people's person, just to become more of a people's person, because power is people.
Cool.
So even though I enjoy my own company, I like being by myself, I very much love being by myself in my own company. I'm a people's person. I vibe off people, auras, understanding people. I would say that. And that's kind of like, that started off just, again, I'd say subconscious. It just kind of like naturally over the years
drew you in that direction.
Yeah. So I'd say like even now, like, you know, I interact with so much people on like a daily basis, if it's online or, do you know what I mean, in the flesh. So I would just say I'm constantly, subconsciously, because that's how my brain works, working on becoming a better person. A better people's person.
People's person,
yes, and a better people's person. Yeah, and
I hear it, and I think for you guys to give you context on how serious, obviously he means by this, is the fact of why he's here today. Literally. On how, you know, you started off doing a YouTube channel with Shay, and then comms, communicated, chopped it up, and then brought you over, jumped on this pod, and then you've been doing other stuff behind the scenes. And that's kind of connecting the dots, right?
Literally.
So and it's, that's really, really great. And I think then if we tie then that over then on your YouTube and what you're working on with the YouTube, how does that transcribe as the hardest thing you're working on, like externally then? Like, why is it that the fact that, you know, you say YouTube is the hardest thing that you're working on right now?
Because I would say it's something that I get to do and it doesn't feel like a job at all. And it's something that I know that if I can, when I do build the bricks, obviously, you know, it can set me free financially. So that's why it's the hardest thing that I'm working on, because I know it can set me up for life. And at the same time, it doesn't feel like work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's something that I can do for a long time and have fun and do lit stuff, be lit, go lit places, meet lit people, do lit shit and make peas.
Yeah.
Like longevity, like generational wealth. Key word there, key phrase, generational wealth.
Yes, sir.
Because I do Forex trading as well.
Cool.
I've got some investments and stuff, so I'm in that world too, and I love doing that. But again, even though it's not 9 to 5 work, it's still work. I still have to get up, go on my laptop, go on my phone. I still have to trade, and there's sometimes where I don't want to do it. YouTube, I love doing it. What? Get in front of my camera and start chatting and about listening to music and about the stuff that I would do, chatting to the man them anyway, but just doing it to the world. I love doing it, bro.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. This is the only thing that I can do that allows me to create generational wealth and at the same time have so much fun doing it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work. I love talking about music. I love music. So, you know, that's the whole reason why I started this shit. That's the whole reason why I started this channel, because I was chatting to the man them. I'm the sort of person that a new song comes out, I'm like, yo, you man,
have you heard
this thing? Raw, my man's rare. And I'd always be that guy in the group chat sending in tunes. Yo, this tune's hard.
Yo, go check this out.
Go check this out, man them. This one's slapping. Do you know what I mean? Anyone got in my car, they're hearing bangers. Oh, what's this tune called? What's this tune called? Where'd you hear this? So I just thought, fuck it. I might as well tell the world. Literally.
And then one thing led to another.
Just got a backdrop and a camera and a fucking ring light and made it happen.
Basics,
bro.
man.
Literally,
Basics.
bro. I spent a $1 on Amazon. I made it happen, bro. You get me?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Real
That's a testament to, look, anybody can do it with whatever you have. The key is just getting freaking started.
Yeah.
Started. But yeah, literally, man, it's been a real pleasure, my brother. Appreciate you jumping on. Anything you want to say to the people before you jump off?
Obviously, check out my YouTube channel, Scoper's Reactions. Make sure you go subscribe and turn on notification bells. We do music reactions and audios. Also got reactions to my my date with Nella Rose and obviously the other boy Shay and whatnot. So go check that out. And you're gonna put my socials. Yeah, we're gonna slap it up. It was in the beginning. It's gonna be in the comment section. You know the deal. Gosh, your love. And I would say that's about it. Still, that's it, man. Just big up everyone else that's just trying to get to where they're trying to get to. Just keep working, man. Keep grafting. Even if there's people around you, I got a lot of people around me that I know do not believe in me, bro. I know it. So just try and put those people. Yeah, man. They don't believe, so we work harder. Yeah, work harder, man. Just put those people to shame, man. There you go, man. Well, that's what I gotta say, man. It's been a pleasure, my brother. And you lot, thank you for tuning in as always. Make sure you show us some love. Yeah. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.